This property is in the heart of Costa Rica, bringing in $150,000 in gross revenue a year. The after-renovation value is $1.5 million.
Welcome to the most beautiful place on earth, Vista Retreat in Costa Rica.
High housing prices, regulation, unstable markets, and maybe you've heard about an Airbnb bust in the short-term rental market due to recession rumors and new regulations hitting cities across the nation. But what about outside of the United States? There are many countries with less regulation, lower prices, less competition, and higher ROI that are open to U.S. investors. Today, we're exploring investing outside of the country and follow Shiloh, a BiggerPockets community member, as he shares why he purchased a short-term rental in Costa Rica and if it's something right for you. Today, Shiloh walks us through this gorgeous property, how he financed it and got it market ready, the money it's pulling in every year, and its thoughtful details that you can't put a price on. Shiloh got his start in real estate investing back in 2014. He was a therapist looking for ways to make extra income for his family. After one of his kids was born, he and his wife were often up late to take care of the baby. One night, they found themselves watching HGTV and thought, well, we could do that. They started out by flipping and then moved on to lease options.
So now we've built a portfolio of about 250 units over the last 5 or 6 years.
Most of Shiloh's properties are in the U.S., but there's a reason he sought this one out.
About 20 years ago, I was a missionary here in Costa Rica for a couple of years, and I fell in love with the people, and I fell in love with how beautiful the country is, and I thought to myself, I want to own a property here in Costa Rica.
And this property is in the heart of Costa Rica.
So you could take day trips from here all the way out to La Fortuna. You can go to the beach, which is only about a half hour away, and you can experience all of these wonderful, beautiful excursions throughout the country from this centrally located hub here in Costa Rica.
This location was crucial to Shiloh's vision. He wants the people who stay here to enjoy this beautiful country he's fallen in love with. He also wants his guests to be able to enjoy time with each other.
And it is perfect if you want to get together for family reunions, for anniversaries, or even for weddings.
Which brings us to the property itself. Situated on the top of a mountain, it sits on 2.5 acres of land and accommodates up to 24 people. It includes 3 separate structures, which you can book separately or all together. The main house, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths. A guest house and 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. And a tiny house, 1 bed, 1 bath. There's also a groundskeeper's quarters where the property managers live.
So one of the things that really drew me to this house was how beautiful it was sitting on the mountain. You have a balcony in the front, and that balcony opens up to a beautiful view of the mountains in the front of the house. But then if you go to the back balcony, it opens up to this huge view of the entire valley below. And in fact, you can see off in the distance the ocean, and then, to the other side, if you're looking from the gazebo, and you can see the port of Punta Arenas.
The views inside the main house aren't too bad either.
Some of the things about the inside of the house that I like the most is how big the kitchen is. The kitchen is just wide open, and it has nice granite countertops, and I also really like the tile. The tile is really big. It's like, I would say, about 2 feet by 2 feet tile throughout the house, and it's really shiny and has a really cool color to it. I would say my favorite room in the house is the master bedroom, because the master bedroom, you have the nice wood floors, you have this nice rocking chair, you have this big window that looks out on the backyard where you can see the beautiful greenery, and then also you have its own ensuite. So you have this big jetted tub, you have this nice large shower, and you have the granite countertops in the bathroom. And then the other thing that I really, really like about the house is the woodwork. I love woodwork. The wood in Costa Rica, this Guanacaste wood, is absolutely beautiful. You see the wood up on the ceiling, and then you have some rooms that have the wood flooring throughout.
Shiloh's favorite wooden detail in the house, though, is a handcrafted chess set.
All of the pieces are, again, carved out of this special wood. And so I think that the vibe that this property brings is high-end luxury relaxation. You can sit by the infinity edge pool and just, look out, see all of these wonderful views and just enjoy it.
So what did it cost to make this place a paradise down to the details?
I would say it probably cost us about $80,000 to furnish this whole place.
That includes adding tourist-friendly touches like air conditioning and high-end linens and furnishings. Add that to the $680,000 purchase price, $30,000 transfer tax, $50,000 groundskeeper quarters renovation, and $120,000 rehab.
So I would say our all-in to this property is probably between $950,000 and $1 million.
The after-renovation value, though, is $1.4 to $1.5 million.
The daily rate is about $500 a night for the main house, and then $100 a night for the guest house and $100 a night for the tiny house.
As you might imagine, the stunning main house books up frequently, but the other unit with the highest occupancy rate is the tiny house that Shiloh added to the property after he bought it.
So we have this cute little tiny house that sleeps 2 people, and I call it the honeymoon suite. And it has this really cool swing set, and it has hammocks, and you can look out over this beautiful, beautiful view. And that's just a wonderful addition to this property.
With somewhere between 50 and 80% occupancy for the main house and tiny house, plus about 30% occupancy for the guest house, this property is bringing in $100,000 to $150,000 in gross revenue a year.
And our cost to run the whole property is around $2,500 to $3,000 a month. And that includes paying full-time staff to live on the property and take care of the whole property, all of the utilities and the taxes and everything else associated with the property.
So even after operating costs, that's still around $70,000 to $120,000 a year. One of the reasons Shiloh was able to invest so much into luxurious touches that elevate the property's feel and its cash flow is a relatively low purchase price. Shiloh and his partners got this beautiful 2.5 acres of land in all 3 initial structures for just $680,000. This is one of the potential benefits of investing in properties outside of the States.
And I noticed that the cost of this house was $1,250,000, but it just dropped down to $750,000. I thought to myself, I really need to call the realtor and find out what's going on.
Shiloh found out that the owner was motivated to sell because he was having a hard time keeping up with the property and because tourism was down due to the pandemic. But Shiloh still didn't have the cash to cover what the owner was asking. So he reached out to a buddy from a BiggerPockets mastermind.
And I showed him this house and I said, I'd really love to buy this house. And he looked at it and he said, dude, I'm in. Let's do it.
So while there might be more affordable investment properties outside of the U.S., you can expect to put in some elbow grease to find them and to make them work. But if you're watching this video, you probably already know where to turn for help.
BiggerPockets has these forums where you can ask a ton of questions, and there's people that have gone through what you're asking about, and they can give you some ideas or some advice. So that's one thing. I think that BiggerPockets is definitely elevated my understanding when it comes to real estate investing. Read books, read things in the forums, and then go to meetups. Those are the 3 things that I would encourage you to do if you want to get started in real estate investing.
So what's next for Shiloh's REI journey and for Bella Vista Retreat?
What's next for me is we're going to be stabilizing our portfolio in the States and just really maximizing the cash flow from that portfolio. And the next thing I'm going to do here in Costa Rica is I'm bringing on another investor to help us build a tree house on the other side of the main house. So there's a big old tree out there, and I'm going to put this awesome tree house in there. I already have some ideas, and this is what we're going to do in order to make this property even better.